Archie Giant Series 503. Hilda wonders what Sabrina's doing near a Christmas tree, and she says she's decorating the outside of their house because she wants to be in the competition. She says their local newspaper is going to judge each house for originality. It's surprising that a teenager would regularly read the newspaper. She wants a prize and a picture of her creation in the paper. Hilda says it's not original, which makes sense because she's looking at stereotypical Christmas stuff. Although it's original of the Santa to have white clothes. Sabrina says she made a snowman Santa to explain that, and Hilda says she'll get in on this competition. I'm glad she's not bad Hilda this time, so apparently she's not going to be mad at Sabrina for participating in Christmas. She wants to decorate the back of the house, and of course she uses magic. The judges go to Sabrina complimenting her decorations. Hilda tells them to go to the backyard, and they get startled by the scary decorations that aren't like Christmas at all. At least she justified it because she was trying to make them original. But logically, she wouldn't win by scaring the judges. Then she flies on a broom in front of them, making them wonder if she did that with wire strings. She continues to be stupid by offering them witch food. This would only make sense if she was only trying to scare them because they're mortals rather than actually trying to win a prize she could just sap up anyways. She assumes they like it because they think it's original, even though they're scared. The next day, Sabrina wins, which was the most predictable result because she's the main character. Hilda wins first prize for Halloween. I love that the contest was nice enough to do that when it's not Halloween. Hilda says mortals don't know anything about a nice sentimental Transylvanian Christmas. Is she from Transylvania? And surprisingly, Sabrina is just cheerful about it. In the next story, Hilda's neighbor wonders if anyone's home near Hilda's house with a bag and tree. Hilda's annoyed at him, hating noisy neighbors on Christmas. He wants to set the tree in the living room and calls Sabrina saying that he has something for her. It's surprising and heartwarming that a random neighbor wants to do that for Sabrina. It's more creative than a Harvey doing that. Hilda doesn't want any silly tree in the house, implying that this is a universe where she never had a Christmas tree in her house before. So she uses magic and makes the tree look terrible. Because he wonders what happened to it, Sabrina's smart enough to figure out that Hilda did this. He assumes the tree dried out too fast, and says he'll be back with another surprise for her. Then they see him with a Santa suit on. Sabrina notices some Christmas carolers outside her window, and Alfonso wants to surprise them with Christmas treats. Hilda does something spiteful for no reason and makes sure the kids will be scared into running away by making his face look scary. Alfonso thinks the kids were just scared of seeing Santa in person. That's pretty dumb. We can see her nose, so he'd immediately notice if his skin turned green, not be oblivious. He says he has presents for both of them in his bag of tricks. Predictably, Hilda loves it. It's a beautiful oil portrait of hers, which was painted from a picture Sabrina gave her. Predictably, Hilda feels like a fool and uses magic to make it up to him by making a Christmas tree and presents show up. In the next story, Sabrina tells Hilda not to come in the room because they're wrapping her Christmas gifts and don't want her to see them. It'd be much smarter if Hilda gave them a list of what she wanted for Christmas every time, and in that case, she'd already know what they had. Hilda wastes a bunch of time complaining. Zelda explains the predictable that Hilda was brought up by a strict witch, and reveals that Hilda's peeking in the window. Sabrina summons a brick wall over the window and wastes time putting a paper bag over Hilda's head. What really made me smile was that we see Hilda walking by her saying, "That wasn't very funny." Hilda lies that she was just checking the window for dirt. Then she uses magic to summon hot chocolate and cookies and tells them to go in the kitchen for them, lying that she baked them. I guess she wants to impress them by making them think she made them the hard way. Zelda's smart enough to figure out that Hilda only summoned them so that she could peek at the presents. Sabrina, rather than warping Hilda away, actually uses magic so that Hilda sees a bunch of presents she hates. Sabrina then says that she might as well let her see the gifts now if she can't wait until tomorrow, and shows her the real gifts. She could have just not done that and let her be surprised on Christmas. I guess she planned on doing that, but decided she couldn't deal with letting her think she has bad gifts until tomorrow. Hilda then tries to make up for it by telling them to open their presents a day early as well and calls them dear hearts. Hilda and Sabrina get startled when a cousin of theirs teleports to their house, saying that he's in the neighborhood and thought he'd drop in. But how is he in the neighborhood when he warped here? He's a warlock with an ego, so how is he just walking around outside their house on Earth? He says he warped here because he likes surprising people. Hilda doesn't seem to like him either. So why don't either of these witches just use magic on him immediately? He calls this place dull, and Sabrina's polite and tells him he's just in time to join in on the festivities. It annoys me that he's someone Sabrina recognizes, but I don't. He makes fun of Sabrina's family for celebrating a mortal holiday and uses magic to make it snow indoors. Hilda gets rid of them and stupidly tells him to leave rather than using magic to warp him out of the house or brainwash him into leaving. Sabrina's naive enough, wanting him to stay and see what Christmas is all about, but Horace makes her find a mouse in her stocking. Zelda gives Hilda a present and gets thanked for it. Horace uses magic so that the present has some things jump out of it to startle her, and Ambrose calls him out on it. Horace puts him in a false sense of security by saying he's right and offering him some candy, and Ambrose thanks him just to eat some candy full of hot peppers and run away. Hilda wants to zap the jerk into oblivion, and Sabrina stops her, not because she says she's against zapping people into oblivion, but because it's Christmas. And then Horace gets confused at seeing Santa, who doesn't give him a gift because he's on his bad list. Why doesn't he say naughty list? Realistically, he assumes it's Ambrose instead of Santa. Then he sees Ambrose and the story ends. How likely is it that Santa would show up in Riverdale specifically? The first story is about Hilda trying to win a competition about who has the best Christmas decorations outside their house, and somehow she does scary decorations, when she really should know better. It would have made sense if she was screwing up on purpose to freak people out. In the second story, Hilda's neighbor tries to give Sabrina a gift, and I have to assume it's to reward her because Sabrina's so nice. Maybe she mowed his lawn for him at some point. And Hilda messes with them a lot because she hates Christmas. Eventually, he gives her a gift she really likes, and she rewards him for it. But before that, she was just being tedious. In the third story, Hilda really wants to see what Christmas presents she's got while they're being wrapped, which wouldn't happen if she had just told her family what she wanted for Christmas, and she tries to peep in through a window, but Sabrina uses magic to stop her. And then they briefly mess with her by making her think she has bad gifts. But that's pointless because then she immediately gets given the real gifts. So it's a good thing she tells her family to open up their presents a day early as well. And then there's a story with an annoying warlock in it. This was an annoying story where Sabrina's cousin Horace shows up and makes fun of Sabrina's family for celebrating Christmas and uses magic to try to ruin it a lot because it's a mortal holiday. And then what passes for consequences for him is that he's on Santa's bad list. It doesn't seem to change him though, so whatever. He doesn't just get warped away immediately by these witches because Sabrina's naive and insists on giving him a chance to come around when he's clearly hopeless. Archie's Joke Book 274. Sabrina apologizes for accidentally throwing out Hilda's magic lamp while she was cleaning the mortal way instead of simply using magic. I guess she has that magic lamp in case she's out of magic, and she'd rather keep it to herself instead of asking someone else in her family to cast a spell for her. So we see the driver in the garbage truck wish that he was on a tropical island right now, and the guy near the trash can agrees. And they end up there, even though neither of them saw a genie go out of the lamp first. So it was literally just a magic lamp. This wouldn't have happened if the maker of the lamp had the foresight to make it only respond to a specific voice. How is Sabrina ever gonna find them and get them back home? She'd have to outright reverse time. She'd never know they disappeared. Then Harvey says that if he sinks a putt at mini-golf, he'll take Sabrina to the movies. And if he doesn't, he'll go home and do homework. Why would he say that? Why wouldn't he just go spend time with her regardless? So she uses magic to make the hole expand in front of him, which she should have known would confuse him, instead of just making sure he decides to go to the movies with her. Then she sees that Harvey's pining for something in class and casts a spell recklessly to put herself where his thoughts are. And she ends up next to some ice cream at an ice cream parlor. She wouldn't cast that spell in public, she would just read his mind. But that was amusing. After this is Archie's TV Laugh Out issue 80, in the next video of course.